Hello trader, welcome back to another weekly Forex forecast. We'll be doing a complete multi-time frame analysis for the last week of the month, as we will see that quite a few high impact news coming as well this week. Now before we begin the full analysis, let's quickly look at what's coming up this week. I'll be doing a complete multi-time frame analysis from A to Z to see how we can find trading opportunity among those pairs. Now before I begin this weekly Forex forecast, traders, make sure you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. So with that said, let's begin this week's weekly Forex forecast. Okay traders, so let's begin with first of all DXY. That will give us a clear idea of euro dollar, GBPUSD as well as gold and other USD pairs to see how the market might be moving in the upcoming week. So DXY, looking at higher time frame as usual, I'll be looking at the monthly chart to see overall picture. Now this is the third month. We can see that DXY is bearish, so we can see that back to back 3 months of drop. Currently the price below the monthly support. So if we look at this previous monthly support, that we can see it's support here in the past, also support here, which is turning resistance in that area on DXY, and we may see that the market is going back up to the resistance line and then dropping back down to create a new lower low. Dropping down to the weekly chart to see how the price is doing. Now from the weekly perspective, we can see that this is the weekly candle where there is a long wick at the bottom and also long wick at the top, and also there is a gap open in that area from the weekly perspective. And I think that this week we might see potential bearish as well, as there is a long wick at the bottom, and the market structure from the weekly, if we look at, is still bearish. We saw a massive drop, only one green candle, and followed by back-to-back 3 weekly candle with series of lower high formation. Here what we can see in this area, this is the weekly bearish candle with a long wick on both sides, and I think that with market open we might see deeper pullback, as this is a very important level of resistance line, and from that zone we can expect DXY to come down to fill that long wick at the bottom. Now dropping down to the daily chart, what we can see that from the daily, this is the daily drop here followed by consolidation. Now daily chart on DXY showing a very clearer ideas, as we can see quite a few long wick candles has formed a deeper liquidity gap in those areas. So you can see there is a liquidity gap here, there is a liquidity gap here, there is also liquidity gap in that area, and that might give DXY potential further downside momentum. Now dropping down to the 4-hour time frame, what we can see that the market a little bit in a sideway, but in the sideway market we see potential bearish pressure. We can see series of lower high formation, and we have seen a bounce in that area, and that bounce in fact a massive liquidity grab during the FOMC that we have seen that manipulation. Therefore currently the market, you can see, still forming series of lower high. What I think that with the market open, we might see potential retest, as at the same time this is the intraday time frame also forming series of higher low, expecting DXY to form an initial upside bias, or even we could see a break depending on how the market evolving. We can look for a selling opportunity on DXY. So a couple of pairs that we can look at now based on that prediction, starting with euro dollar. Now euro dollar, again looking at the monthly chart to see overall picture in the market. Now this is the monthly price action. Previous months we have seen a healthy body with a long wick at the top, and this month we have seen after initial retest the market managed to bounce, fill that long wick at the top on the monthly. Now at the moment what we can see that euro dollar has gone up, fill that long wick, expecting it to come down further and then to bounce back up to create a new higher high, as we have seen that from the monthly, quite a few months of sideways movement has given a huge momentum on euro dollar. Now, if we drop down to the weekly chart, we can see that from the weekly, this is the weekly bullish candle. And here what we can see, there is also support here, support here, support here, quite a few weekly candle. Last week we saw a doji formation. That doji has crossed back to back 3 weeks low. Therefore, in this uptrending market, forming this kind of doji can give a strong momentum for upside. And as a result, last week we saw a bullish candle with a week at the top. So this week can be considered as a pullback. So we can expect another weekly candle potentially to the upside in the upcoming week. If we drop down to the daily, we can see that from the daily chart, there is a daily doji formation. And here what we can see, also there is a narrow doji. And the market has broken all this low that has given a huge momentum on euro dollar. And therefore, what we can see that last day of trading week, also a doji formation. Now, in the upcoming week, what I think that as you can see from the daily again, back-to-back 3 candles form the structure which is potentially bullish. The last day, there is a doji, and we might see that the price either forming higher low or lower high and then moving back up to create a new higher high. So that we can see from the intraday to see how the price might be doing here. So what we can see that this is a support here, resistance here, support here, support here. What we can expect on euro dollar for the market to break below, which is potentially we could see that break and then bouncing back to the upside. So this could be the wave on euro dollar for the upcoming week. And let's see, as the market structure is bullish, we may see ultimately bullish candlestick pattern formation on the lower time frame as well. So dropping down to the GBPUSD, let's look at week monthly chart. Again on GBPUSD, we can see that previous months form a middleman. That candle has a long wick at the top and bottom with a healthy body on British pound US dollar. And what we can expect on GBPUSD, this is the monthly price, and we can expect for the market to move back up to create a new higher high, as it is an uptrending market structure. If we drop down to the weekly chart, we can see that weekly perspective, a doji, and also there is another doji. 2 dojis also has got a strong momentum from here, from the weekly perspective. And we can see that there is a bounce followed by pullback, 2 weekly doji formation. And we can see here is a massive weekly bullish candle last week. That might give GBPUSD further potential to the upside. And we may see that the price is continuing to the upside. Now, if we drop down to the daily to see clearer picture, we can see that also bullish market structure. There is a daily impulse pullback, another impulse deeper pullback, and we can see that GBPUSD is in another bullish impulse. Now, last day of trading week, we saw a narrow daily candle formation, and we can see that this is the daily bullish engulfer on British pound US dollar, and expecting for the market to retest and then to return back to the upside to create a new higher high. Now, if we drop down to the 4-hour time frame to see how the price is doing, we can see 3 long wick liquidity candle formation here, and that liquidity candle in fact is a potential for further bounce. As last session we saw a very narrow red candle, I think that with market open we may see initial drop or may not see, depending on the price action opening. In case the price dropping below this level, below this long wick candle, we may see that is a break of structure, because we can see that here is an uptrend, and any candle close below or break below can be a strong break of structure that can give us potential entry opportunity on British pound US dollar. Now let's look at XAU USD gold. And now past week gold was incredible, as you have seen that it was in a very strong bullish momentum. Now let's see this week, as it is last week of the month, what we can expect on gold. And we can see that from gold, this is the monthly candle. It is in a very strong bullish market structure. If we look at the historical perspective on gold, we can see that there is a very strong impulse, correction, impulse, and which is basically a strong bullish market structure. And from the monthly, we can see that this is the monthly candle, and we may see that the price is remaining bullish for long-term perspective on gold. Now, dropping down to the weekly chart, we can see that from the weekly also, this is a bull market. We have seen an impulse, correction, impulse. We have seen 3 weeks of consolidation, and we can see that there is another weekly candle formation. Now, this is the weekly bullish engulfer, followed by last week we saw another bullish candle formation. Now, this weekly candle, we can see that it's closed with a bullish momentum. As the market structure is cleanly bullish, we may see that XAU USD as well moving back to the upside to create a new higher high. Now, if we drop down to the daily chart, we can see that from the daily, this is the daily impulse, also deeper correction. Now, last day of trading week, we saw another daily bullish candle formation, expecting XAU USD to drop and then to bounce back up to create a new higher high. So if we look at the 4-hour time frame on XAU USD, we can see that also it's a bull market. Now we can see there is a bounce pullback, another bounce pullback. It is in another impulsive phase on XAU USD, and because the momentum is high on terms of trend, and we saw that there is a also in this area there is a liquidity candle formation, and with that liquidity candle formation on XAU USD, we may see a retest of the support and then continuation, or directly continue to the upside to create a new higher high. If we look at a 15-minute chart, as lower time frame might give us trading opportunity, the market open. Now this is the 15 minutes price action and the market structure. This is where the market structure is bullish, and we can see that this is a strongly bull market on XAU USD. So this is a trend line for long-term perspective. If we extend the trend line to this level, we can see that this market is in fact very strong bullish momentum. And I will be waiting for a potential break of structure, as this is, if we look at closely, we can see that in the past, this level, this is a support here, support here, support here, and whenever there was a break of structure, the market was testing that support, which is in fact forming a very strong bullish market structure. We'll be looking for on XAU USD for a break of structure and then to continue to the upside to create a new higher high. This is we may see even directly bouncing from here, respecting this support level. Depending on the lower time frame price action confirmation, we can look for potential entry opportunity on gold. Now let's look at JPY pairs to see how the market might be doing. Now looking at JPY, starting with the monthly chart to see overall picture in the market. Now from the monthly, we can see that GBP JPY, there was a monthly doji followed by this is also last week of the month, and we can see that on GJ, this is the monthly candle, which is a pretty narrow doji formation, and the price is almost to the monthly resistance. And I think that on GJ, the price may drop initially, and monthly close could be a doji or even could be a bull candle. So if we look at the weekly chart, what we can see that from the weekly, last week a pretty strong bounce, and at the same time the price is on the monthly resistance. So therefore this week we might see potential downside here, and there is a support here from the weekly perspective, And that support is absolutely important to look at, as we can see that from the weekly for the market to drop and then to bounce back up again to form a doji. Now, dropping down to the daily chart on GBP/JPY, what we can see that from the daily, this is the daily impulse here on GJ. And with that impulse, this is a resistance here, the price also in the resistance line, and we can see a complete bounce. There is no red candle at all along the way. Therefore, on GJ, we might see that the price is coming back again to the support level. Now, from the lower time frame, we see a very strong bullish market structure. The price is approaching this order block here, and I think that GJ may initially try to retest. That could give the price to bounce if we look at the monthly again, which almost will be in the monthly resistance line. And because the market is in a downtrend, and I don't think that GBP/JPY this month will be able to form a bull candle, we might see even a monthly close as a red candle or as a doji. So if the price want to close on the monthly as a red candle or doji, after a bounce, we can expect retreat back to the support. Before the weekly close, we might see again return. So overall, the market structure could be in this form on GBP/JPY. Now let's look at dollar yen. Let's see what kind of opportunity we have. Now looking at the monthly chart on dollar yen, we can see that from the monthly, this is the monthly price action on dollar yen, and with that monthly price action, we have seen that there is a massive drop on USD/JPY, and this is the monthly candle so far on dollar yen. What we can expect on dollar yen for the market to retest and then to drop back down again. If we look at the weekly chart, we can see that from the weekly perspective, this is the weekly price action, and what we can see here, a big drop, pullback, and this is the weekly channel on dollar yen, which is basically a bearish market structure. If we drop down to the daily chart, we can see that from the daily also the market structure is bullish, forming series of lower high on dollar yen and wanting to see that the market going up, retesting, and then to dropping back down again. As if we look at like the GBP/JPY on dollar yen, this is the monthly candle, which is also forming a bearish candle. So we will be waiting for the price to retest and then to drop back down again to create a new lower low. Now, looking at the 4-hour time frame to see how dollar yen is doing, we can see that from the 4-hour, this is the impulse and deeper drop, and we can see another impulse drop. The market is forming series of higher high and higher low, which is basically here is a bull market. But at the same time, we might see that the price is going back up to the resistance and then to dropping back down again. This could be the wave on dollar yen, and based on the market open, we can look for potential trading opportunity in those instruments. So these are the pairs that actively we will be looking at. Also, we have Aussie dollar, dollar CAD. They're almost moving in the same direction as of euro dollar and GBP/USD. In addition to that, if there is any other trading opportunity, also I will be sharing with you in the live analysis. Traders, make sure that you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. With that being said, thank you, and I'll see you soon in my next analysis.